There's absolutely no way he can live on £1 per day for the entire week. This video is blowing up, but let's check
Live
it
on
out.
£1 a day in 2025. Can you take that £1 and make 3 meals a day with snacks as an optional extra? With economic turmoil, food insecurity, and prices on the increase, it's getting harder and harder to pay for and budget our food shopping. This £1 per day challenge, which is going to be spread out over 7 days, is slightly different to the previous attempt we made a couple of months back, which I'll put a link up at the end of this video. This time round, I have used chatgpt. Into chatgpt, I said I want a £1 budget, I want a shopping list, which is based around Lidl's, Aldi's and Asda's. I want three meals a day. I want to hit a minimum calorie count of 2,200, which is kind of on the low end for someone my size, but it's definitely a sustainable amount of calories, and I want to hit a protein target and certain nutritional needs. Not only did it come back with a shopping list, which we were going to go grab from Lidl's in a minute, but it also came up with a very in-depth 3 meal plus snack option menu for the whole 7 days. We'll go more into depth on that later on, but for now I'm going to go to Lidl's.
All of that for £1? I don't believe it. Eggs are luxury, mate. I don't know what you're doing there. Eggs are they're not on your budget.
Right, let's take a look at the ingredients I managed to pick up for £7. It actually came in at £6.99. We've got 1 loaf of medium sliced wholemeal bread. Saved a few pennies because it came in at 44p, not 55. I'll show you the receipt at the end. It just works out, with such a low budget, it just works out more cost effective to buy the bread pre-made. I've got 1 kilogram of mixed frozen vegetables, which is sweet corn, peas, green beans and carrots. 1 tin of baked beans. 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. Porridge oats, whole grain rolled oats, 1 kilogram's worth. 1 kilogram of long grain rice, 6 medium eggs, 500 grams of pasta. I was looking for margarine based on some of the stuff I was going to make, but I couldn't afford it, so I ended up going for lard, which is going to provide us with some fat for the week. 1 bulb of garlic, and finally 1 banana. Let's take a quick look at the receipt. So porridge oats were 89p, the pasta was 41p, the rice was 52p, 2 times chopped tomatoes 45 pence each, so 90p, lard was 50p, baked beans in tomato sauce was 27p, 6 medium eggs £1.45, the loose banana came in at 14p, the frozen veg was 99p, medium loaf. Oh, so we did get charged for the medium loaf at 55p, even though I scanned the other barcode. That's frustrating, isn't it? That's annoying. And the garlic came in at 37. I would have had another 11p had I not misscanned the bread. Doesn't matter though. So £6.99.
It does matter.
That's going to make 7 days worth of food, 3 meals a day. I'll see you on day 1 for the morning. So the parameters for this challenge I put into.
So wait, initially I thought he was gonna do it day by day, so £1 per day, but it actually works out more possible doing it as a bulk, and then you see
ChatGPT that I can only use either 1 stock cube, 1 teaspoon of cooking oil or equivalent, or 1 herb or 1 spice. 1 item from the cupboards, something that you'd have on standby anyway. Recipes, it's based around that. I mean, predominantly it said use a stock cube. I did type in parameters. You can use cooking oil, spices and herbs, I'll go more into detail about that as we get on into the actual challenge itself. Following ChatGPT, breakfast for day one is 140 grams of oats, 250 grams of boiling water. I can take that off the scales now. And it says to use half the banana. But also, interestingly enough, it says to use the lard. So it says 5 grams, which is a small chunk of lard. I wouldn't think to put lard in porridge, especially with banana, but I'm following the recipe.
Make it
So
more
let's melt that in
trust me.
and then chop that banana. So there we have breakfast for day one. Banana in water with lard and chopped sliced banana. I'm going to get that down me. And that should see me right through till lunchtime, which is going to be a rice dish. Right, so we're going to do lunch today, and it's going to be 140 grams of rice, which has just been pre-cooked and cooled down. 140 grams of the frozen mixed veg, one of the garlic cloves, or 5 grams of garlic. This is roughly 5 grams. So I feel like the recipes, when they ask for garlic, are making the assumption that we're using a garlic clove. And there's quite a lot of garlic in this week's recipes, and a lot of lard as well. So we're going to use 10 grams of lard and a stock cube, a 10 gram stock cube. So we could roughly gauge what the lard's going to be based off the stock cube. The recipe says to saute the rice, vegetables and garlic in the lard and crumble over a stock cube. So we're going to slice this up. Interestingly, I was on a Facebook page looking at budgeting and meal planning and stuff like that, and someone put on the actual page, I've got £5 to last me the weekend, and they picked up some biscuits, a large grab bag of crisps, a chocolate bar, and some crumpets. And it just got me thinking, because this ChatGPT, which we're using for the £1 a day budget, obviously is stretching nearly the same amount of money over 7 days. And already the food I'm eating in the first 2 meals is a lot more healthy than what that person purchased. And substantial. I mean, that food's not going to keep you going all weekend. Well, it wouldn't keep me going all weekend anyway. And the lard is a bit of an odd one, but I swapped lard on the ChatGPT because it was the closest thing I could find to the margarine. It did say to use a margarine, buy a tub of margarine, but because the prices were slightly off, it's going to crumble in a veggie stock cube. I didn't have
I'm gonna give my take more near the end of the video. I don't want to interrupt the viewing experience for you guys. For all the people who are wondering,
enough for the margarine, and I thought lard, and then it changed some of the recipes around to accommodate for the lard instead. Actually smells really tasty. There we go, vegetable rice. I don't think I need to worry about not having enough food at the moment. This is a massive amount of rice. Hot cube's giving it loads of flavour. I like rice anyway. And this cheap frozen mixed vegetables, it's fantastic. Got carrots, green beans, peas, sweet corn, all sorts in this. It's a good lunch. This actually genuinely is a good lunch. So far, so good. So dinner's less substantial than lunch. We've got, it requires another 10 grams of lard, which we're going to use to fry off another clove of garlic. So that's 2 lots of garlic. We've had lard with all of our meals so far. Okay. Just going to fry the garlic off in the fat. So 10 grams of lard, 5 grams or 1 clove of garlic, 70 grams of pasta and 130 grams of tinned tomatoes. Add in the pasta with the sauce. So based on this ChatGPT menu, I think breakfast is the same every day. We're just mixing up the different meals. There's quite a few ingredients we haven't touched so far. We haven't done any of the baked beans, we haven't done any of the eggs, but I'm sure we'll get around to some of them tomorrow on day 2. We do have a snack for this evening. I'll share that with you later on because I'm going to make sure I follow everything that I'm told to do.
I think it's better
Ingredients, meals, menu-wise as well.
He gets to enjoy the eggs and the nice stuff, like, you know, down the week. So I think it's better that way.
There we have the garlic tomato pasta. Day 1 dinner. So the snack for day 1, I'm going to do the snacks in the evening, is, you guessed it, lard on a single piece of toast. Not really bothered about snacking, but I do want to follow the recipe. I do want to follow the menu. Breakfast is a repeat of yesterday minus the lard. So the instructions from ChatGPT were not to include lard, just the banana. Now yesterday, because I cut it in half, I put the banana in the freezer, so it's gone a little bit soft. But it just means it's gone into the porridge a bit better anyway. Another thing to note, it said as a snack later on in the day, leftover porridge. I'm not being funny. I am following the rules because I am eating everything it tells me to eat each day. But I'm just going to eat my porridge this morning. I don't fancy leaving a few spoonfuls of this for the rest of the day and then coming back to it as a snack. I'll take the risk of being hungry later and just eat the porridge as it is. So day 2 breakfast is porridge with half a banana. Lunch is
following it down to
2 bits of toast. 2 bits of toast with some of the lard spread, approximately 5 grams of the lard. And then to go with that, I've got 60 grams of baked beans, so barely two spoonfuls. But that's good for lunch. There's some protein in the beans. We've got the toast, that's going to be filling substantial enough. I think we're on fried rice again for dinner tonight. So this is just basically another version of what we had yesterday. We've got the 140 grams of frozen veg. We've got the lard, which we're going to use to cook, but this time around we're having an egg. So an egg veg fried rice. And then we've got the garlic. So these limited budget.
Hold on. It's clear to see that protein is the most expensive thing on the menu. There's barely any protein. I mean, there's just 1 egg. For the entire week, there's just 6 eggs. The rest is just all carbs.
It's really small budget, so the pound a day ones, they do get quite samey. Even though ChatGPT's tried to put a few variables in with the meals, it's still very samey. For example, 140 grams of rice in each meal. So tomorrow night we've got fried rice again. I've just cooked up 2 lots. I did it this afternoon and cooled it down because cold rice, cool it down quickly and then stick it in the fridge. This will be good for tomorrow. But then we're going to fry the rice up anyway. I know rice is contentious because people say you shouldn't reheat it. But honestly, if you cool it down quick enough, I have said that on the channel before. If you cool it down quick enough and you use it in a decent time frame, you're all right. And then we want 10 grams of the lard in the pan. So I'm going to treat this like how I cook egg fried rice anyway. So I'm going to heat the oil, fry the egg, chuck in the veg, and then chuck in the rice and finish the whole thing off. Then add in the garlic and the veg, and then the rice. So we're going to get the extra protein from the egg in tonight's dinner. So that's the rice done, and then I'm going to have to meal prep for lunch tomorrow because I'm back to work. So we'll get on and do that now. But yeah, so there's another big plate of rice and veg, but we've added egg. No stock cube this time around, but we'll try it as is. Okay, so there's a lot less flavour. The stock cube really helped out yesterday. It's nice to have a bit of egg in it. It's definitely going to fill me up. There's no way I want to be eating leftover porridge tonight after this. Not as flavoursome as yesterday's was. Right, let's get on and do lunch. So tomorrow's lunch is going to be 70 grams of pasta, 100 grams of the mixed veg, and 115 grams of the chopped tomatoes, tin chopped tomatoes. Did say to add 10 grams of lard and a stock cube. Now, 10 grams of stock cube. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a third of that in with the pasta to cook for the flavour, and then we'll add the last bit in with the tomato just to give it that saltiness to the pasta. But that's going to be lunch, so let's get that cooked. So the pasta is nearly there when it comes to being cooked. So we're going to add in the frozen veg just so they can soak up some of the flavours from the stock. Right, so the pasta's cooked with the veg. There's a really strong stock smell. So I'm thinking I'm going to save the liquid, because I think there's a soup coming up at some point. We're going to add in the lard. Never had so much lard in my life. Mind you, they use lard a lot in World War II cooking, and that's going to be one of the coming up challenges. So almost like a little bit of prep. Add the stock cube and the tomato. There's a soup coming up in the week. I'm wondering if we could use that. So there's lunch for tomorrow at work. Pasta cooked in stock with tin tomatoes, vegetables and a bit of lard. Loads of lard. Back on the porridge, another 140 grams. And we're going to add more lard to our porridge.
I do have to intervene here. I can't lie.
That'll be
This
day
isn't
three's
that
breakfast.
bad.
I sat in the van.
This is giving me even ideas for videos. Thank you so much, Wary Wolf Adventures. This isn't that bad. Let's be honest. There are people across the world who are going through way worse. This isn't that bad. Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you attempt this? And if times got super dire, like hard, would you do this? I don't think you would have a choice.
I'm halfway through eating it, and then I remembered a little video up. This pasta's really nice cold. Stock definitely does it a lot of favours. Gives it a saltier, savoury taste. But yeah, as vegetable pasta goes, it's not bad. And it will see me through till tonight. When you guessed it, it's fried rice. Right, just sorting out dinner. Now that I've got home, going to use a little bit of oil. It doesn't ask me to use lard in this one, so I'm going to avoid lard. I'm going to have a break from the lard. And then it says to use 5 grams of garlic, so another clove, plus an egg, plus the rice and the veg. So eggy veg fried rice. So the thing is, I'm not hungry on what I've eaten so far. So we're coming towards the end of day 3. I'm not hungry, but I'm not satisfied either. I think It's because it's quite monotonous, isn't it? It will be at £1 a day. It is going to be quite monotonous, but I think I'm finding it a little bit taxing at the moment. But I'm not going hungry, am I? I've got enough food. It's just the same old food. I think what I'll do on my lunch break tomorrow is I'll discuss with you. I'll do the breakdown of the calories and all the other information, because I can do that. I can sit down because it's saved on my phone, so I'll have to write it down, which I'll do this evening, and then we'll go through it at lunchtime tomorrow. But for now, I'm just going to get the garlic in with the egg and the veg. So it was 100 grams of veg, 1 egg, 5 grams of garlic, and then 140 of pre-cooked rice. Alright, that's it. Another day with egg fried rice with veg. Just looked at just a sneak peek at tomorrow.
I think also what's missing from this is seasoning. If there was seasoning, these meals will be 10 times better. I feel like doing a challenge and showing you guys how to actually season all this stuff, make it super delicious.
The porridge is going to be a daily thing
like
now.
you're on a budget.
But I have got an egg sandwich for tomorrow for lunch. I'll make that in the morning. And then we got like a rice soup. So we are mixing it up a little bit tomorrow for day 4, which is very much welcome. Anyway, I'm going to eat this. Right, for snack for this evening is 2 bits of toast with lard. I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think of this ChatGPT designed £1 a day challenge. It's very carb heavy, isn't it? You can edit it, so I could redo this and say high protein, low carb, see what it comes up with. But as it stands, that's a lot of food. I've barely digested all the rice, so this could have been a snack during the day. I understand I do choose to have it later on. Anyway, enough waffling on. That's the end of day 3. 2 lots of toast with some lard on it as my snack. See you in the morning. Got quite a lot going on this morning. Breakfast, dinner and lunch. I've got 140 grams of porridge again. I've got an egg frying because we're going to have an egg sandwich. The egg is cooked in lard. As well as that, I'm just making up a rice soup. So I've rinsed off 140 grams of rice, 140 grams of veg. Just to add a stock cube. Gonna add some hot water. But I'm also going to add the stock with the vegetable and pasta drained off from the other meal. And then one final thing I need to add to that is some garlic. I've got to add that lard to the porridge as well. A lot of the meals are basically the same thing, just cooked slightly different when you look at it. With the exception of, obviously, today we've got an egg sandwich for lunch. That's what it looks like.
That doesn't look
Just gonna
nice.
get that on the slow cooker. Just gonna wrap up the sandwich for lunch and eat my porridge before I go off to work. I've got my fried egg sandwich. I'm going to munch that now. I've still got some work to get done, and then when I pull over for my actual official lunch break, I think what we'll do is we'll go through what ChatGPT has come up with. I can share with you like the daily calories and protein and all that stuff. I'll probably share the images on the screen while I talk over it. I'll work it out. So there you have the ingredients worked out on the total amounts and then what the average is per day. And then obviously it's included the stock cubes. It's interesting that it just used stock cube when it did have the option for cooking oil and herbs and spices. Maybe I should have been a bit more specific on the usage. Maybe said vary the types of spice and herbs you use. You can pause this if you want to take a closer look. And then there's a little bit of information on here saying use the lard sparingly for cooking and extra calories. Combine the stock cubes and garlics for flavour enhancement. And then it's got 1 egg per day across meals. There was only 6 eggs, so day 1 we started without using an egg. Another thing to note here, it says here's the 7-day meal plan with exact ingredients, quantities per meal, and it says that ensuring roughly 2,100 to 2,200 calories per day and a daily intake of approximately 60 grams of protein. On this page it looked at, so the grains and carbs are the oats, the rice, the pasta and the bread. The proteins and fats is the comes from the eggs, baked beans and the lard. The vegetables you're getting chopped tomatoes, the frozen veg, garlic, and the veg stock cubes is counted as vegetables. And then the extras, banana, and then the margarine replaced by lard. And then it breaks down the basic structure. So for breakfast, it's always oats with either banana, garlic, and then the lard added in. And then your lunches and your dinners. Right, so I just got home. I've served up the soup. So we've got the rice, garlic, oh, it's hot, garlic and vegetable soup. Just letting that cool down for a minute. While I'm letting that cool down, I'm just prepping lunch for day 5. I've got 70 grams of pasta. It says to use garlic. So I'm going to slice the garlic. I'm just going to chuck it in with the water because we're not using stock in this one. And it didn't tell me to use any herbs and spices, so I'm not using them. If it was me, if I was to deviate from this instructions, I'd probably chuck some Italian herbs or something in there, but I'm just doing what it says. So no stock cube, just the garlic for flavouring. I've got 115 grams of the chopped tomatoes, 60 grams of the beans, and then we've got 100 grams of the frozen veg. That can go in now as the pasta's nearly done because that requires cooking. And then once that's done, I'm going to drain it off and then I'm going to add in the beans and the tomatoes. In the meantime, I'm just going to give this a taste test to see what it's like, because this is probably the most unique version of the rice we've done so far. It's a bit like congee, isn't it? Like a rice porridge in stock. It's okay. Bizarrely, it tastes a bit like popcorn and I'm not sure why. I can't get the taste of popcorn out of my head with that. That's bizarre. Right, so I'm just going to drain this off. Hopefully it's picked up some of that garlic flavouring. I've added it back to the pan. I'm just going to add the beans and tomato. Right, so just going to add that to a container. That's our lunch sorted for work tomorrow. While I'm at it, I imagine I'm going to get a load of comments during this video like I did in my previous £1 challenge from Armchair Detectives, who are going to point out and mention that they see other food in the background. Sugar, vinegar, loads of biscuits. I live at home with my 2 kids and wife. They don't do the challenge. There's food in the house. And even if I did live on my own, I'm not going to clear out my entire kitchen just to have the only food in the house being what I'm doing on the challenge. It's not really something I should really have to address, but I did get loads of comments and I imagine I'll get some more this time round. But yeah, just to clarify, yes, there's food other than the challenge food in the house. You may see stuff being prepared. There's a tomato pesto pasta there. That's my daughter's to take to school tomorrow. I'm still cooking food for other people. It's down to you whether or not you want to trust me or believe me when I say that I'm sticking to the budget. And the only person I am actually going to fall in those cases is myself. I'm only cheating myself, aren't I? So yeah, just that. Wanted to clarify that. That's lunch done. Tomorrow morning will be some more porridge. Day 5 breakfast is just porridge plain. So nothing added. I'm kind of getting to that point now where I'm missing fruit. Fruit is definitely lacking. We had the banana for days 1 and 2, but could have done with some apples or something like that. something to discuss at the end of the video, I think. Sat in the van eating my vegetable pasta for lunch, and then tonight it's going to be another kind of variant of egg fried rice, but because we've used the veg so far and the beans and tomatoes for today's allowance, I'm probably looking at just egg and garlic. I'll double check it when I get home. I didn't mention last night, but the snack for yesterday was leftover porridge, and I already said at the beginning of the week I'm not holding back on porridge during the day just to have it later on in the evening, but I do think we've got some toast tonight, so we'll be having a snack. So day 5 is a basic egg fried rice. So I've got 1 egg, the 140 grams of rice, 1 fat clove of garlic and stock cube, heating up the lard. Just going to cook the egg, chuck in the garlic, the rice, the stock cube, and that'll be dinner. I'll save you watching me make another egg fry in a non-human way.
So that was another one that he made, and then now it's
No
porridge.
emotion, it's literally gone. I think it's just gone.
Then he has beans on toast.
Barely toasted bread. Also added a stock cube in with the pasta, tomatoes and veg. Nice. I'm a really greedy person. I'm not even going to eat all that. And I mean, look at the quantity of fried rice for lunch. It's just quantity over quality. I genuinely feel that with this chatgpt ingredients and recipes.
Keep you
sick of the rice. It's going to be a while before I have egg fried rice again, and I like egg fried rice, and that's way too much pasta, so I'll take a break from the pan. I'll eat as much as I can. See you in the morning for the last day of the challenge. Last day of the porridge. That's all the porridge used up, and then I've added in the lard. So last day of porridge with lard and water. So on day 7, I'll be honest, I forgot to film the rice. I had the rice I made yesterday. I've had a busy day. Fridays are busy. If you watch my channel, you know things all go a bit mad on a Friday. I've still got dinner to do tonight, which is chopped tomatoes, the leftover chopped tomatoes, the baked beans, toast, and a fried egg. I will share that after I've done this, but I figured I'm on my lunch break, I'm at work. We'll have a quick chat about how we think the week went in regards to how chatgpt did the limited budget food challenge for us. I think the first thing off the bat to discuss is it was very samey. The variety was just different ways of calling it for fried rice. So we've had a lot of fried rice, we've had a lot of tomato pasta and porridge, and it was boring, wasn't it? Let's be honest. This channel is about honesty. Let me know in the comments, give me your feedback, but that was a boring challenge. I think the one I did previously was slightly better because I at least mixed it up a little bit. Had I have chosen to do the menu itself, I would have added more herbs and spices and not just gone for a default veggie stock cube. I think I've had a stock cube every day this week. I mean, it's an interesting concept. A few people have said that they use ChatGPT for their budgeting. There might be a few ways I've done it wrong. You could let me know in the comments. Do I need to be more specific on the things I ask it? Do I need to say vary the spices and herbs for each meal? I don't know. It's the first time I've used ChatGPT to do my budgeting and for a challenge. I probably would approach it again. I might learn to be a bit more specific on the requirements. There's also scope to use it to tweak ideas and meal plans of my own. I could get.
Let's see. So basically, he used ChatGPT to give him a breakdown of the meals and everything else. I think, in fact, let me know in the comment section down below. Do you want me to do this but protein based? Because I think flavor wise and protein wise it was slacking, just like he said. He was honest about it, but I think this could be done a lot better with tastier meals, and I'm being tempted, slightly tempted to do this or recreate this, sorry, because this is a great idea, so thank you very much, my friend. Recreate this but with tasty meals that you're actually like, wow, I'm actually able to eat it. Maybe bump up the budget, maybe £20 per week, which is still low, and I feel like most people in the UK will have £20 per week to be able to do that and balance it out. I think that would make for a great video, but I don't know, let me know in the comment section down below. But let's read the comment section down really quickly. So let's see. Oh, this is quite a long one. Oof, I hate long messages. Living on £1 is totally doable, but ChatGPT analytical box ticking. The way you get a variety of meals on such a low budget is by making your protein do the bulk of the work. One of the previous commentators adding a chicken. Well, that would run you up £5 or £6, whereas you can get 1 kg chicken drumsticks for £2.50. Very true, very true, very true. Those chicken drumsticks, so I am super tempted just reading this, because I know a bunch of little hacks in Lidl's, Aldi, and some Tesco ones where we could get things really cheap on a budget and go in on this challenge. This is very, very tempting. I'm this close to saying, yeah, I'm definitely doing it. We're doing it on this channel. Especially, we talk about money and finance on this channel. But yeah, this comment is way too long, so we don't have anybody got time for that. But yeah, but it was a good comment anyways to analyze. We're making egg fried rice. Separate the yolk. Okay, cool. Let's see if there's any. These are all positive comments. So far, I didn't really see any comments. Well, why is there other food in the background? And all of this, he was honest about it anyways. But this was a very, very good video. Well thought out. I didn't even think I was going to be here for the entire video, but I was, because there's just something appealing about it. So I might even end up making a similar video. But you guys let me know. Would you do this? Do you want me to do this, but a better version? And make sure you like the video, comment your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. God bless.